everybody. Welcome to Inside AWAI. My name is Rebecca Matter, and this session is going to be on how to make your first $1,000 as a freelance writer. I am joined by my lovely learning chief, Pam Foster. Hi, Pam.
Hi, everybody.
And if you are not familiar, if you're brand new to AWAI and you have no idea who we are, I am obviously this one. Pam, if you want to go ahead and start advancing slides.
Sure.
I'm the one on the left, Rebecca. I am the president of AWAI. I've been in this industry over 20 years now with AWAI for 18. And I have worked with more freelancers than I could ever imagine. It's the best job in the whole wide world. But what that does is I bring to you so much experience of helping freelancers. And this session is really about that first piece of it. We're going to get into this, that making the money. Because if you can't make the money, if you can't start getting paid, the rest of it really doesn't even matter. And that's why we did this, because of all those years of working with freelancers. I know it's that first paycheck. It's that first $1,000. So we're going to talk about that. And Pam Foster actually was where you are today, right? Pam, you were an AWAI member. So why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about your story and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. So I had been working in corporate cubicle land in marketing communications, but not really writing the kind of copy that we now understand as results-oriented copy, which most businesses really need. And so I discovered AWAI in 2005. I started applying what I learned from AWAI to really drive results with the copy I was writing, and it made a big difference. And then I decided, I'm out of here. I'm not doing cubicles anymore. And I embarked on a freelance life. And then I started doing more and more with AWAI, created a program, started teaching at some of the events. And then in 2015, they hired me full time. And I'm so happy to be part of the team and continue doing what I love, which is writing, teaching, and helping y'all get there. You make your dreams come true. So that's why I'm here.
Excellent. All right, well, let's talk about this session and what we're going to cover today. Our goals for this session, and Pam, you're controlling the slide. Good, excellent. That first $1,000 milestone. So as I just mentioned, we're going to talk about this a little bit, what that really means, because it's more than just the $1,000. It is a big mile marker on your journey to where you want to go. We're going to give you the 3 easiest projects to offer clients now to get you to that $1,000. We're going to show you how to present and get that yes. So I know what they are. I've learned why clients need them. I've learned how to do them, but how do I actually get a client to say yes? We're going to cover that. We're going to give you some tips on how to make it happen fast, as you're going to learn being around AWAI and being in this world. Money loves speed. I learned this quote from Joe Vitale very early in my career, and it has stuck with me ever since. There's so much that comes with momentum. And if you can get momentum and you can get speed and you can get going, that is going to be more impactful on your long-term success than anything else. So we're going to show you how to get this going fast. And then we're going to show you how to build from $1,000, because your goal isn't just to make $1,000. Your goal here is for us to get you to make that first $1,000, but then we want you to continue to grow and evolve and make more money as a writer. So with that, Pam, you ready to jump on in?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about the milestone of $1,000 and why we picked it. If you right now could pick a map, if you could picture you are here, right? If you're on this session, I'm guessing it's because you haven't made $1,000 yet as a writer, or even if you have and you're just like, there was an easier way, there's a faster way to make $1,000. I like to think of it, the writer's journey, as a roadmap. You are here at stage 1. Your first touch point, your first check-in, your first gas station stop to fill up on your journey is $1,000. And here is why. Once you make $1,000 as a writer, everything changes. You realize that this opportunity is real. You realize that you are good enough. You can actually get a client, you can do the work, you can get paid. It gives you that confidence that you can do this. So it shows you, again, the opportunity is real. You believed in this thing. I can make a living as a writer, maybe? $1,000 says, yes, companies actually do hire writers. They actually pay the fees that AWAI is saying that they pay. It's real. Okay. You realize my writing is good enough. Somebody paid me for my writing. That alone is like, oh my gosh, I'm good enough. I don't have to be Bob Bly or any other expert out there. I just have to be me, and I'm good enough. Somebody paid me. That psychologically changes everything. And then again, you start to realize like, hey, if I can make $1,000, I think I could actually do this. And what that means, it could be anything, right? If you want to leave your full-time job, stay home with your kids, be more flexible, have a full-time job and just do this on the side. It doesn't matter. It solidifies in your brain that you can actually do this, just having that money. And we picked $1,000 strategically because it's not $100, it's not $500, and you might have goals of $10, $50, $100,000, $500,000, whatever your goals are, you'll get there. But this first $1,000 has a bigger psychological impact on you than anything else at this point, which is why we picked it. In addition to that, so that's kind of the mindset woo-woo stuff. It just makes everything easier for you. Like now you have a sample. You've worked with clients, right? You've got testimonials. You have potential referrals to other clients. You've got momentum because as we start working and we start getting paid, it just gets a lot easier and you got confidence. And that's the one thing that you cannot buy, you cannot pay for, you cannot. The only way to build confidence is to do it. We can talk about swimming in a pool all day long, but the only way that you are going to get confidence that you will not sink to the bottom of that pool when you jump in is to get in the pool and not sink, right? That's what this is. Just by seeing I did it, I wrote it, I submitted it, and I got a paycheck, I'm not going to sink. I can do this. It's such a big deal. So that $1,000 is a gigantic thing. Pam, anything that you want to add on this, on that $1,000 mile marker?
Really quickly, is there an echo? Am I okay? Okay. I have found that we see a lot of members kind of be in the wading pool for a little while, the kiddie pool, and you know they're only up to their ankles in making this happen, and then suddenly they take off. And what is it? I mean, we just got an email today. Someone I know who has been working on this for a while, really hard. Now, all of a sudden, recently has 5 clients that need multiple projects from him. And he said, those are the only ones that need multiple projects, not the one-offs. So I'm like, what just happened? And he reached a milestone all of a sudden that is giving him wings. So that's what I think is so exciting here is that once you hit that milestone, that kind of feeling legit, serious milestone, it changes everything for you, like Rebecca said, and I'm seeing it all the time with our members. There's just, you know, Steve Maurer, for example, used to write really like work his heart out to write articles where he got paid $25 or $4 or something crazy like that. And then he got serious about it and really worked on finding clients who pay better. And now he's almost going to make 6 figures this year and have a full-time job. I don't know how he's doing it, but it's amazing. You know, once you hit that mark, you just take off. So that's what we want for you.
100% agree. And that's why we're going to end this session with, we're going to help you make your first 1,000 today. And then we're going to end with that, because at the end of this, we want you to maintain that momentum. And sure, life's going to get in the way. It's going to slow your momentum at times. But whenever you can push to the next, you're always going to be better off. It's that next. All of a sudden, 1 turns into 3, 3 turns into 8, 8 turns into, and it just builds like that. That's the reality of building really a success in anything. So how are we going to approach this? The way we're going to go about this is teaching you the 3 projects that we feel are the most ideal to get you to your first 1,000. Now, there are dozens of things that you could be doing to get paid as a writer. And if you've been around AWAI for a while, you know just how many that there are. There are more opportunities than you could ever learn and do in your entire lifetime. It would be impossible. That's how big the opportunity is now. Companies used to have a few different marketing channels. We used to have 4 main projects. When AWAI opened its doors back in 1997, there were 4 projects. Today we have a pricing guide that prices 75 of them, and that's not even all of them. It's that big. And companies nowadays are like, these are all opportunities. Every marketing channel that opens is a way for us to bring in new prospects and bring in revenue to drive to our bottom line. Without that marketing channel, if I choose not to do social media, if I choose not to do e-newsletters, if I choose not to do email, I'm choosing not to allow people to come through that channel. I'm choosing to leave money on the table. I'm choosing as a business to say, no, thank you. I don't want any prospects from this channel. That's the choice that companies are making. They do not want to make that choice. They have a bottom line. They have employees to pay. They've got a business to run. They want to grow. They want to expand. The challenge, though, all these marketing channels I could be in, but how? That's where you come in as a writer. So what we're going to go over now are the 3, what we feel are the most ideal projects to hit that first 1,000. Because yes, you could learn them all, but what you're going to end up doing is spending a lot of time learning, not a lot of time doing, and not a lot of time making money. At the end of the day, it's a balanced act between learning stuff, doing the work, and getting paid. Because the getting paid piece is what differentiates you from being a professional writer and maybe having a hobby as a writer. And if you're with AWAI, we're assuming you want to make money, and that's why we're here. So what makes these projects ideal that we're going to cover? The first thing is that you can learn them fast. The reason we picked these projects is we have trained thousands of writers in our careers, both Pam and me. We picked these 3 projects because we know that you can learn them fast. We know that if you take a program from ours, we show you the formula, I can get you up and going in a matter of days on one of these. Pam can get you up and going in a matter of days. Our programs are built like that. You might not even know how to do this stuff, which is great too. You might not even need to take a program. But the key here is that you can do it fast. It doesn't require 6 months of training to learn how to do this project. So they're simple, right? You can learn them fast. We picked projects that you already know what they are. So you might not know what a white paper is. You might not know what a case study is. You might not know what a video sales letter. Those are all things that, like, could you learn to write them? Yes. Are they in big demand? Yes. Can you learn them fast? No. Do you know what they are? Maybe not. You may have never come in contact with a white paper or a case study or, whatever it is. So we picked projects that, like, oh, I know what that is. I get all those every single day. I interact with those things. I consume those things. So they're not even projects that you have to learn about because you already use them as a consumer. We pick projects that clients need and already value, so they understand that the marketing channel exists, they understand what the content is needed for that channel, and they understand that prospects effectively come through that channel with this. So you're not going to have to say, okay, client, let me explain to you the value of a funnel, and here's what it's going to be like. And they already know what these things are. They already know that they bring value, and they already want them. There's fast turnaround. So we want you to be able to go out to clients. Yes, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. All in a week, done. Give me my paychecks. Let's go. We want you to be able to not have to commit for weeks or months. We want you to be able to do these projects in a couple of days. And there's low risk for all. We feel the ideal projects when you're just starting out is I want you to be able to go to any company or any company who calls you, and both of you feel like this is like a first date. I don't know if we're going to get married. I don't know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I don't even know if I want to do another project with you. Client is saying, I don't know if I want to spend $10,000 with you to write a sales letter or $25,000 on a huge production budget. Can we just maybe have coffee and see if we even like working together? So these projects are low risk. Any company can try you. They can pay. They're going to pay you. We're not just having them try you. They're going to pay you to try you. But the risk on their side, it's so easy for them to say yes. And we're going to show you exactly how to get them to say yes quickly. But it's so easy for them because there just isn't any risk. Like, why wouldn't you try this writer? And we're going to show you exactly how to present yourself to make the client go, oh my gosh, I want that person I got to try this person out because clearly they know what they're talking about. And I'm so excited about what they have to offer me. I've got to try this. And it's only like $300. It's only $500. Why not try them? So you can learn them fast. You know what these projects already are. Clients need and value them. Fast turnaround as far as I get the assignment today. I can deliver it to you tomorrow. And it's low risk. People can try you. It's so easy for a client to say yes. They're not going to ask you for samples. They're not going to ask who you worked with. Why would they? Why would they bother even sending that email for such a low risk project? Why not just go ahead and try you and see if it works? So that's what we're doing when we're covering these 3 projects. So with that, Pam, I'm going to let you talk about the first one.
Okay, drum roll. It's blogging. And I would also say /articles because basically content that a company publishes that is helpful, whether it's a blog or an article, and the difference is very subtle these days, honestly. Everyone needs it. Blogging brings in traffic. Blogging can set companies apart, and they're easy to write. And I'm going to talk about that because really there's such a high demand from marketers. I just went out and looked at some stats. Here's the deal about blogging. If a company publishes a blog post daily, now we're not talking about like your little accounting firm down the street, but a bigger company, if they're publishing daily, I mean, maybe a little accounting firm can, but highly unlikely, but they get 57% better results. And results means traffic, awareness, starting relationships, getting on the radar of the ideal prospect. 57% better results than publishing just, fewer times that week. That amazes me. And so if somebody really wants to go all in on blogging and really reap the rewards of that, they're going to need content all the time, and they're going to need writers. So blogging for marketing purposes, companies are seeing 13 times the return on investment. And I have a really short, quick story. I used to write copy for a veterinary equipment manufacturer, and I still write freelance for veterinary industry. They would write about how their equipment can save a dog groomer's back by having a tub where the big old St. Bernard gets let into the tub instead of you having to lift it and put it in. And we would just start blogging about the cool benefits of the equipment that this company made. And what they were able to do with their blog is start getting traffic and leads and calls for their products without sending out a full color expensive catalog every year, which costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they would pay me like $250, $300, $400 per post, and they would get leads that would sell a $20,000 stainless steel grooming tub over and over again. And that blog post sits there for eternity. So more and more traffic comes, more people are getting, calling the company. That's just one example, but that's how powerful blogging can be. It's a huge benefit for companies that really commit to it. Most popular types, just so you know, the first one is the how-to. People go online to find out how to do something. They just bought a new coffee maker and they're not sure how to put it together. They're going to go, how to put this together. This example here is from Dollar Shave, how to shave around a scar. Who thought of that? People are looking for that, clearly. So how to is extremely powerful. And if you're the company, or if you're helping a company be the best answer to those questions through a blog post, everyone wins. So that's the first type. And then the other one is something we call listicles, which are like 5 reasons to do something, or the 3 best products this year, or 7 steps involved in buying a home, or things like that, where they're just really popular. People seem to love those list items where they can go and scan through and go, yep, I did this. Oh, I got to do that. They love that. So those are so easy to write. If you are writing, for example, if you love to garden and you write for a company that sells gardening products, you can write how-to blog posts for them till the cows come home, and help new gardeners figure out what kind of soil, what do I do if it's a dry terrain, how do I have a no-mow lawn, just topics galore. And if you can help a client be an amazing resource for those kinds of questions, everyone wins again. So, and then 38% of bloggers, and this is marketers, say that a big challenge is creating quality content consistently. So that's where you come in. I do blogging for all kinds of crazy companies like veterinary sales professionals. Who knew that was a thing? But I help them think about how to get to a vet practice and sell in a great way. And I know that industry really well, so it's fun for me to talk about that, and I can help contribute with ideas. And so that's why, they've hung on to me for years, because that's a challenge for them. They don't have anybody on staff who can do this regularly. And so you can come in and be that hero. So that's the deal on that. Now, the fees for blog posts, what we're seeing out there is roughly, a good client will pay you $250 to $400 per post of under 1,000 words. And then if you're writing longer posts, it's $500 and up, depending on the length, how often you're blogging. You can negotiate rates if they're getting you to do regular posts every month. And that's why we say retainers rule. And what is a retainer? That's something you set up where you say, all right, I'm going to blog for you 4 times a month for 12 months. And for that, I will charge this. And then you're locked in for a year. So the client feels great because they have you. They know you are going to help them all year. and you've got income that's predictable all year. So that's why it's a beautiful thing. And that, for example, 4 blog posts a month at $250 a post gets you that $1,000 every month. So that's why we love blogging, because companies need it. And you as a writer, it's not hard to do this. It's really fun and interesting, and you can be way more than just a writer. You're actually contributing to their bottom line and how they stand out in the marketplace. Do you want to add anything to this, Rebecca, at all?
Just that one of my exciting takeaways along with the fees was when you said, I understand this, so they're going to keep me around. That's a good takeaway. Everybody watching, think about the things that you're interested in right now. What are the things that I've just picked up tennis. I could write about tennis and talk about tennis all day long because I'm just excited about it. Is there something that you're just genuinely excited? Maybe you have a new baby and you're doing all this research on infant safety anyways. So why not write blogs for infant safety? You could think about things that you're passionate about. You can think about who you are as a person, as your demographic. But I urge you tonight just to think about that, because as we're going to show you, you have, even without the writing skills, you already have something that companies need. You're a consumer of information. You're a consumer of product. So you get to bring that slant in, that information, that feeling, the ideas, the questions that people have in that space to those potential clients. And so you already have so much to offer just because of who you are. So I love that, Pam.
Yay. Okay. Now, I said they're easy to write. You can follow classic formulas. I mean, if you look at awai.com and our article archives, we have a structure. We have a typical structure. We have an intriguing headline that is going to help the person who wants to become a writer. That's our structure. Then we have an intro, and then we have some steps or some lists or some tips, and that are super, super helpful. And then we have a summary that inspires you to go forth and do what we just described in the blog post, and then a call to action on a next step. That's it. How easy is that, right? If you look at any blog out there that is struggling, for example, you see something that the client says, well, we're not getting a lot of hits on this. We really worked hard on it. It may be just simply the structure is flawed. And now that you know what the basic good structure is, you can be like, oh, well, you don't have an introduction paragraph that leads them to the rest of the steps. You don't have things broken out so they're scannable. And that's what steps or lists or bullets can do for you. So, I'm showing you a couple of listicle ones here from Etsy, 21 reasons we can't wait for spring. And of course, it's all about spring buying season and crafts and things like that. And then they have another one, 22 brilliant candle shops with rave reviews. Someone who loves candles will be drawn to reading that blog post, and they're going to read all 21 items. That's typical. What happens? That's a structure that works. That's why so many companies that you know and don't know are using that structure. And then a bonus, if you can, and I've been asked to do this too, is come up with some images that support the content you're writing. And you can use free resources like pixabay.com, which have free images. You can use your own images if you want. Like, let's say you are a photographer of, I don't know, you love to photograph garden furniture. I'm making this up. But you could write about garden furniture and garden decor and garden entertaining for a company and use your own photos, and they pay you extra for that. So really cool, super easy structure. If you look at any blog post, like go to Marketing Profs, go to any industry website, like I had Ace Hardware on there. They've got a whole how-to blog section. Just look at the structure and you'll recognize that there's a pattern that you can easily pick up in your writing. Okay, so how do you start? Well, identify your audience. So basically what Rebecca touched on is that if you have an interest of any kind or a lifestyle, that like a new mom, or you're retiring, or whatever it is, you love camping and RV, or you have a business background in a topic. For example, I used to write for a veterinary equipment company. So that's a no-brainer for me. I can write for other veterinary focused companies. Think about what you can offer companies that really you can just step in and start writing about it, because you understand the audience, you understand the questions people ask. And then make a list of questions or problems that the prospect that you identify with would have. So like Mint here is one example, which is a financial website to help people manage their money, but it's very down to earth. It's very simple, and the way they explain things are not academic, but just really person to person. You might have some questions you're not finding on Mint. Like, what if I have an adult child who can't buy a house on their own and I'm going to help as a parent? Is there a loan for that? You could offer that as a topic to write for them because that's a personal need that's relevant to that business. This comes out in B2B and business to business, and those are the vendors and suppliers to other companies. So like I said, I write for the veterinary industry. This bottom example here, kind of small, but they do equipment for dog grooming centers, doggy daycares, dog boarding facilities. And so their blog posts are always about how to make your business as a dog professional easier to run, with better equipment, easier to help with adoption of animals, all those kinds of topics that those people care about. So you can come up with a list of headlines or topics for the client. And then I love Rebecca here. Hey, potential client, which of these 5 ideas would you like me to write first? Now, if the company's already blogging, but they struggle to put out fresh ideas, or it's always this resentful, oh man, we got to write more blog posts. What the heck are we going to come up with now? You will walk in and be like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness we have someone who's thinking about fresh ideas. So look at companies you like and who are blogging, companies you'd love to work with. Maybe it's a local bakery. Maybe it's a national company that you're an avid fan of and you think of ideas for them, like a Dollar Shave or something like that. I can bet you that clients will at least listen to your ideas. And if they don't have someone on staff who can just grab all those ideas and run with it, which is very unlikely, they will probably ask you to do a sample one, and no, they'll pay you for it. And then as you go, you can say, all right, let's set up retainers. Let's do this every month because you loved it. That's how easy it can be.
And we have a lot to cover on this, so we got to start flying. But on that, that is how it happens. You say, here's 5 ideas. Which of these do you want me to write first? Yeah. You become an idea machine. And being an idea machine is one of the most valuable traits that you can have. And we teach you how to do this, but just to be able to generate. I could come up, give me any industry, give me 30 minutes, and I can come up with 5 blog post titles that would be compelling to any company in that space. And that's where you get when you learn to do this. And if you've run a blog for any time or you've tried to write one, coming up with ideas for 10 years, it's not easy to do. So having that practice, there's likely, even if they have a blog, there's likely a business owner or a marketer or someone on their team who's like, please just come to me with a list of ideas because I just don't know what to do with this blog anymore. So you might be saving them from something that we put up a blog. Now we have to manage a blog. You're going to be their lifesaver.
Yeah, that's the thing. Blogs never sleep. You can't just say, all right, I'm all done. I posted 3 posts. I'm all done. No. Once they've committed to a blog, they got to keep it going. So that's a beautiful thing for you. We have a few resources. Actually, we have more than this, but I want to point you to 2 of our best resources on blogging. The first one is an Inside AWAI session just like this. And there's the link, but it's basically if you go onto our website and put Inside AWAI blogger, you'll find that session. And that goes into a whole hour on blogging for yourself, blogging for clients, and how that all works. And then we have a program that goes way in depth. And what's exciting about that program is it showcases 10 super bloggers, 10 people who are making lots of money as bloggers for clients and for their own blog. So it's one of my favorite things because if you like to write and you don't really understand how sales marketing works yet or any of that stuff, just jump in with blogging first. Because it's just article writing that helps somebody solve a problem or answer a question or discover a new way to do something.
And then once you're in, you can build from there because the blogs open you up to so many other projects. I'm with you, Pam.
Right. Yep. All right. So now the second one I am very, very familiar with is newsletters or e-newsletters. Basically, they're mainly email newsletters, but some companies still mail them out like my accounting firm, which is that image right there. They still ship it out in the mail because they tried it online and they were like, we're hearing that people really want those paper newsletters, and it works for them. So generally though, what you're writing is or what marketers use them for, is to send out tips, news, special offers, and it's to prospects and customers both. So there are two kinds of newsletters. There are the kind where people sign up for free. We've got some free newsletters, and we keep introducing new helpful tips and offers to the free crowd. And then once you're a customer with us, we have newsletters every week to help you make the most of your career and help you find other ways to make your business rock. So a lot of companies do that. They have the prospect side and then the customer side. 81%, think about this for a minute, 81% of B2B marketers, again, those are vendors and suppliers and software companies that serve the business world, they say that their e-newsletter is their most used form of content marketing, which means they send it out, they see results from it, they've been doing it for a while, they love it, and it's working for them. And the best newsletters really share helpful, useful content with a small balance of promotion. So it's mostly great content that's helpful with some offers and discounts and links to product purchases. But they're not usually pushy, buy this, buy this. It's more, here are 5 other ideas you hadn't thought of, or here's some breaking news that you need to know. And then if you want more, you can go over to this link and maybe buy something. So the pay can be great, and it's super fun because it's, again, once you do a newsletter, they need it every month or every week or how often they do it. But if you're doing everything in the issue, so I do a 4-page, 8.5 by 11 newsletter for my accountant, and it's basically $800 per issue. And I write all the words. I think it's like, trying to think, 2,250 words total, and some images, and bada boom, bada bing. And I know it so well. Guess what? I've been doing it for 25 years for this one client. Oh my God, 25 years. And I know what to come up with for ideas. So it's just a great win. And then they do my taxes, and it's all a great relationship that works. And so think of it that way too. You could write for a client that could actually serve you as well. And then there are other kinds of newsletters. This is an example here from Pet Age, where they give you snippets or teasers, and then you click a link to read a longer article on that subject. Now, in that one, depending on how many longer articles you're contributing, you will maybe do the e-newsletter itself plus the longer article. So that's going to be more money involved. So again, just like with blogging, retainers rule. You will lock a client in. They'll be so happy to like set it and forget it. They can count on you every month to publish or put out the material they need for their audience. So again, easily $1,000 a month. So think about blogging for a client for $1,000 a month, and then adding this, a newsletter, even if it's only 1 issue a month. If you do more, just keep doubling that money. And you get paid even more if you come up with like the annual editorial calendar for them, or sit down and map out the topics for the year. So again, lots of ways to get to your first $1,000 with even one newsletter issue. So newsletters are a blast. They're easy to write. Again, this is our week in review we send out every Saturday to our list, and we want them to know what's happening in the copywriting and content writing world. We want to showcase our new launches, product launches. We have member success stories that we feature. We've got upcoming events to list. And so this is where we're really showing in a digest everything we offer you once a week. And then you get other new emails from us throughout the week. But this is the digest that you can quickly glance. Oh my gosh, here's something great for me. Oh, look how this person got a new client. This is awesome. And so we mix shorter and longer topics. Some of them we just do a teaser and link to a page, like I mentioned. Some soft promotions are included in there. We're not doing necessarily a strong promotion, and sometimes we are. It all depends. But it's always newsy and interesting and relevant to your life as a writer. That's typically what a newsletter does in any industry. And then again, if you can add images or help support the client with images, that's a great bonus that they'll pay you more for. How to start now? Sign up for newsletters. So I have my accountant's newsletter. What else do I get? Let's see. All kinds. If you are interested in writing, of course, you're going to get newsletters from writing organizations. If you're interested in gardening, sign up for gardening newsletters. I keep using gardening because I'm looking out, things are blooming right now. So gardening's on my mind, but like I'm learning how to play guitar. I have a guitar newsletter that I get. And then if there's a brand you love, like Talbot's or J. Crew or whatever, get their newsletter because they have special deals, or you get it first, new designs and clothing launches. Trying to think. There's so many different topics, anything you can think of. Like Rebecca said, if you're a new mom, there are things you want to keep being informed about. You'll sign up for newsletters in that realm. And newsletters are usually people signed up for, opted in for, they want to get them, as opposed to other kinds of marketing that they didn't necessarily. I think Ann Handley said the other day that newsletters are the one thing where you can control who wants it and who doesn't, where social media feeds and all those other things you can't really control, but you can help a client control the list, or, you know, having great content out there that people already said they want. So that's pretty cool too. And so here's a way to get those clients. You can approach a company like who sends out a newsletter, and just, you know, if you see that they're sending out a lot of the same stuff or the content's real thin, you could say, you know, are you struggling to come up with newsletter ideas? I have several based on questions that I have or experience in your industry. If you happen to be like an accountant or something like that in your background, go for those companies that are doing newsletters because they understand the value of it. You don't have to sell them on the idea of a newsletter. And then see if you can offer a lot of content that they either haven't thought of or just don't have time to deal with. And again, you can be a superhero for them. We have a couple of resources. Again, an article is great. Email newsletter clients never run out of content, and that's because you're going to help them. And then we have a program creating email newsletters for professional service firms like my accountant, or law firms, or any kind of service firms, which is super cool. And you can apply those principles to any industry, any type of company. Trust me, it's a great foundation for any kind of newsletter writing you'll do.
And here's just a mind-blowing thing about e-newsletters, about professional service providers. 26 million professional service providers in the US alone. So, and it's not like a competitive thing. Well, you can't write for me and the other veterinarian. Yes, you can. You can specialize in your local area, writing legal, you know, writing newsletters for lawyers. You can write newsletters for chiropractors, for the dentist. Like, it could be local, it could be state, it could be national. It could be, you could be the dental newsletter writer. You could just specialize in this, and live in that space and churn out newsletters. Imagine just one monthly newsletter. You have 5 clients. So one day of the week or 1 week of the month, you work on your 5 clients and you don't work the rest of the month. And that's still $5,000. Like, that's when you start to really think. And as Pam said at the beginning, newsletters, once they start sending them, they can't stop sending them. I signed up for your newsletter. You said you were going to tell me every single month, every single week, every other week, whatever it is. You don't stop sending it. So it's like, it almost becomes a burden on the company. So we got a newsletter. We got a lot of people in it. Now we got to write a newsletter every month. Like, or every week.
I've actually heard that exact same thing with clients.
I've lived that exact same thing. We have so many different, people don't even know there's 89 and there's all the other, we have other divisions, other companies that have newsletters and things that are attached to them. I want writers who can just send in the copy every month and I never have to, because they're great and they do what they do, and I never have to even think about the newsletter. The company's dream freelancer is someone who just gets it done and they don't even have to think about it. I just send you the check and we're all happy. It's all good. So I love newsletters. All right, we are coming in close. We only have 20 minutes left, so we're gonna start flying through some of this material. Our last item is video scripts. And before you say, video, I don't have any experience with video. Wait, it's one of the simplest. I'm so amped about this opportunity because I finally really got to understand it this year. I've been in video and I've worked with video as far as marketing goes, but I didn't really understand what the opportunity was until I worked with Andrew Davis on our video certification. And now I'm like, everyone needs to do this video. Even if you start a blog, start with newsletters, also do videos, because watch this. We're going to look at it for now. Yep. First of all, the effectiveness of video. Huge demand because everybody is doing it, because the effectiveness is so high in every trade journal, in every association, in every e-marketing newsletter that we're getting about the effectiveness of the various marketing channels, it's video, it's video, it's video, it's video, it's video. Every channel needs video. So marketers are saying like, okay, it's got good ROI. Awesome. It helps with lead gen. Yes. Increases traffic. Awesome. Increased sales. Yes. We need video. And then marketing and writers are like, okay, what does that mean? Like, how do we actually do the video? Watch how easy this is. When I say video, we see videos, right? You see me on video at times. You see Pam on video at times. You see all this stuff happening, but how do you actually create the videos? So you as a writer are not creating the videos. All you're doing is creating a storyboard. You're not even scripting it. This is where it blew my mind with Andrew Davis. So we think about different kinds of scripts or different kinds of videos that you see out there. Let's talk about the variety. There's interview style, right? There is the, I had a problem, I found this product, I now have a solution, my life is so much better, right? It was the, I discovered the $1 shave company and now my life has changed forever because my face is always smooth. My wife was always happy now when I kiss her and I don't have to spend $50 on razors, blah, 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 whatever the thing is, right? You get that person talking to camera or talking slightly off camera. There's that, I'm so happy that I found the P90X system because look at my 6-pack abs now, right? That's that testimonial style. That is all scripted. What they're saying isn't scripted. Your job as the writer is just to write the questions to get them to create the story that you know you want in that final cut.
Right.
That's it. What questions would you ask that person about their experience getting those 6-pack abs that would, when somebody else was listening to the video, for them to say, I want that too. That's me. That's exactly how I'm feeling. I want to go on that journey as well. You're not actually scripting what they're saying. This is where my mind was like, that's it. If you are a journalist, if you're good at telling a story, if you can see that story arc of the before and after story, this is your thing. This is going to be your jam. You might see explainer videos like this is how this works, right? Those more scripted, but you're basically saying like, in order to use the P90X system, you have to take it out of the packaging, stick it into your DVD player. I joke, but like that's the thing, right? It's showing you how to use the thing. It could be how-to steps or demos. So where you're actually walking someone through something, or so you have a new baby and it's crying. Let me show you the 5 S's of having a new baby. You know, the swaddling and the swooshing and all that good stuff. That could be a how-to video. So you're going to be scripting out that story. Or opportunities to help people see and feel what's happening. It's getting them on the inside of whatever world you're in. It's not necessarily though, hi, my name is Rebecca Matter. I am the president of AWAI. It's not that kind of scripting. It's really the storyboard. If you're good at telling stories, again, and thinking back to like the old ad campaign, if you can picture like if I were to say an ad campaign or like a cartoon strip, right? It's like, I know I kind of want it to be like this. I'm going to want the person looking at the camera. I'm going to want the person looking off camera. I want it like this. In order to get that story, I'm going to need to ask them these kinds of questions so that I get the kind of language that I want. To the right, you're going to see what I'm talking about. That's what you're writing. When I say video script, that's it. Seriously. Yeah. Now look at the fees for that little bit of stuff and maybe a couple of pages, $100 per minute. So for me, it might be a couple of pages per minute, but for most people, that's less than a page. And most contracts have a minimum. Like I'm not doing anything for less than $500 a minute. Do you know how much time it takes me to write a minute script? 30 minutes max. That's nothing. So let's say $100 for 30 minutes, $200 for an hour. I mean, literally, and that's like if I actually really think it out. So it does not have to be much work. And these are small numbers. This is if you are literally just helping them create 30-second, 1-minute videos, or you can go into the bigger stuff where they bring in production companies and you're actually going to get a percentage of production budget. So as you get into this, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, what I'm showing you now is the starter project. You could actually go on set. You could be developing the picture with the video producers and actually taking a cut of that fee. But so what is it that you're actually, as the video person, if we can advance?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention a little image. That's from an I'm hearing an echo, but that's from a veterinary platform that teaches veterinary professionals how to do new procedures and get updated on it. So that's an explainer video. It's talking about this platform that will help you as a practice manager understand what's going on. So, I mean, it is so simple. It was like, it has to be less than a minute and it has to explain what we offer. Ba-boom, ba-bing. It's that simple. That's all I want to say.
And you don't create, it's my speaker. When you speak, it's coming back through. So I just have to mute whenever you but so what Pam was showing on that example is that you don't have to create any of that imagery. It doesn't even have to be a person. In that case, you could take, like, let's say a writer's life article, right? That teaches you a how to blah, 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 blah. Imagine just handing that over as a script, like putting it in script form and saying, I need the veterinarian to read this into the microphone. And then I need your video production team to put up images that match. Our video producers literally will just talk to camera, straight to camera, talk, hand it over, and it's up to them to figure out to slice it and do all the cool stuff with the images appearing. You don't do any of that. You're just either giving the formula of what it is that you want the person to say to tell the story, or you're giving someone, like in this case, I need you to teach how to write a compelling headline. Say these words into the camera, say these words into the microphone. You might not even be on camera. And then I'm going to put images up there, or I'm going to recommend the types of images, but the video production company is doing all the really hard stuff. You just get to do the writing. And that's what blew my mind about this, is I thought I had to have the creative side on the visual, but I don't. I have to be able to tell a story. The video producers are the ones who create the visual story. Just like a graphic designer does the layout and design for copy, the video producers do all your visuals for your videos. So they're super easy to write. Again, with a testimonial, you're just basically saying, interviewer, I want you to ask these questions, because this is where my story is going, and I need to have sound bites that sound like this. And I think these questions are going to get the sound bites that I need. You're going to include a shot list. So I'm going to want, if you're doing one of those visuals, you might have a picture in your head. And so you'll tell the video producer, I want to make sure that you get her face on. I want to make sure you get a shot of the product. I want a picture of her and her kids, so that when we talk about how her knees don't hurt anymore because she's been taking this supplement, she's able to run around and play with her children. You know, you can have that, and then you just hand it over. You don't have to do any of it. And you just get to use real language. We work with our writers on video scripts. And it's so funny because I oftentimes, and I'll still make it into my own, but I'll say this out loud. You think you would actually say that to somebody? There's no way on God's green earth that you would look at someone and say this sales copy thing. You would sound so phony. So you literally just get to write exactly how you would speak, exactly how the veterinarian would speak, exactly how the doctor behind the supplement would speak. You just get to write conversationally. It's such an easy project, and I'm currently obsessed with it. So then how do we actually get started? This is the other part that blew my mind. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to have like massive credentials, right? Like I went to the video production school of what? No, it's not like that. It's literally, this is from Andrew Davis, what he gave me. He said, watch videos. Step one, go watch videos. So let's use our example of veterinarian, like local veterinarians, right? Let's go on YouTube and Google. Let's go on YouTube and search the YouTube thing for veterinarians teaching dental hygienics to people who own cats, whatever the thing is, right? So we're looking at videos we're consuming. All of a sudden we find one. We're like, that's awesome. We put it in a file. Okay, let's look up some other kind of, what else are veterinarians talking about who are doing it well? Oh, they're talking about, oh gosh, that one is really gross. Just popped up in my mind about a dog that had an issue that I don't even want to say the words, but let's say people were searching for this thing. Okay, that's a good video. People might need help expressing this thing. There's the video for that. How to properly wash a dog, right? There's a good video. Now I've got like 5 or 6 videos, even 3 videos that are really good. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the veterinarians in my area and say, hey, look at these videos that veterinarian Bob is doing. These are pretty awesome. You should be doing these too. Veterinarian Jack is going to be like, yeah, I should. That is awesome. I'm going to go to a video production company and ask them to do those for me too. Hey, video production company, can you make the videos that veterinarian Bob is doing? Guess what the video producer says? We absolutely can. Do you have a script? Mm-hmm. That's where you come in. The video production companies do not write the script. So even though veterinarian Jack is like, oh, veterinarian Bob's videos are so good, He's a veterinarian. He doesn't create video. And the video production companies are saying, we can do that for you, but you need to have a script. Like, do you have anything that you're actually going to say? That's how great it can be. So now what I love about this is that you get to take those videos that you found on YouTube, show them to Veterinarian Jack. And what do you think that does for you and your credibility? You didn't even make those videos. All you did was say, these videos are great and you should do them. But what does that do? There is an implied authority already because you are the one who brought the videos to them saying, look how great these are. You never said that you did them. You just said you found them and they're awesome and that they should do them too and that you could write the scripts for them. Veterinarian Jack immediately assumes you're a pro. You don't need to go to blah, blah, blah video production school. It is like you've already got this. You've got that signed, sealed, and delivered. Do you want me to do these videos for you? Yes, right? So exciting. So how do we get to present? So now we've given you all these ideas. How do you present? These are the things that we're talking about to just get these quick yeses. So let's look at a few more examples. First, did you want to do this one?
Nope, go for it.
Okay. Keep the first project simple. Like I talked about earlier, you don't want to create this convoluted and this and this and this and this and this. You want someone to say yes, right? Make it super easy. Here's 5 blog posts, local pediatrician. Which one do you want me to write first? Write them all, please. Or I want number 2 and 4. Make it so easy. Don't make them like jump through. Can we get on a call and talk about blah, 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 blah? No. All we're trying to do is just get you to go out for coffee. We're not asking you for a marriage. We're just saying, give me a chance. So give them. And we're not saying, please give me a chance. Can you please just let me write for your blog? Can you please let me do? No, it's like, here's 5 blog posts. Which one do you want me to write? Here's 3 videos that are awesome. You should do these too. Which one do you want to start with, right? Like just make it so easy. Think about the person on the other end, the busy veterinarian who's got a practice to run, who can just say, yes, please have them to me by next Thursday. When can you have them done, right? Like make it so easy. Show what the competition is doing. Show videos from Veterinarian Bob. Show other articles. Show other blog posts. I love that they're doing this, but I love your product so much. I wish you were doing that too. Let me help you do that. Again, there's that implied authority. If local businesses, show them how those things can make them stand out locally. Pam is a big believer and advocate of helping local businesses because you don't need to compete on the national stage. We're not trying to get number 1 on Google for CPA firm, but you are trying to get number 1 Google for CPA firm Austin, right? That's what you're competing with. You're not competing with the millions of sites. You're competing with the 500 other practices in your little area. That is very easy to do. And then finally on the video side, call video producers in your area. Say, I'm a video scriptwriter. If you've got a client who's looking for a video who doesn't have a scriptwriter, call me. And when I need a video producer for my clients, I'll call you. Great referral network. But just the key, if nothing else, just get so easy or so clear in when I ask a client for this position, I'm offering them, this is what I do. Which one do you want? Because now it's not looking for me to jump through hoops saying, do I want to blog? I don't know. What would they write about? I got to come up with ideas and ask them to write it. No, you're saying, here's the 5 ideas. Pick one. It's so much easier. That's how you get the yes quickly. All right, Pam, take us home.
Yep. Really quickly on the last point there. It's not just a video producer you can team up with. For example, when I do my accountant's newsletter, they have no graphic designer. So I have a friend who's a graphic designer. So we take care of the whole thing for him. So you can do that too. Leverage partnerships or relationships with local people in your town who offer the services you don't, but complement, like graphic design, web programming, video production, someone who can post the blogs and format them for the client. Because a lot of times client won't have someone in-house. And that's where you can be like a double hero by coming up with the full service. Just wanted to mention that. It's not just video. All right. So how do you build from that first 1K? Let's assume you've watched this, you went after this, and in 30 days or less, you had your first 1,000. Woohoo! Let's celebrate. Let us know, okay? Post it on our social media. We want to know. But also, what do you do next? Well, just do it, says Nike. You're going to do all kinds of things and take that momentum. And the client who hired you to do 1 blog post, 1 video, 1 newsletter, set up a retainer with them. Offer a great retainer where you might discount your price a little bit if they lock you in for a year, that type of thing. Ask, what else do you need help with? I noticed when I was doing your blog that there is, I want to link to things on your website, but those pages are kind of thin on content or they're not really clear. Can I help you make those better? Same thing with your email. I'm sending out e-newsletters, but I'm seeing the email isn't quite caught up to the tone and the nice, friendly style that you now have in your newsletter. Can I help you with your emails? So you can just grow from building that relationship. Post the samples on your site. This is Rebecca May's sample website, Thrive Copywriting. She puts samples of her work on the site. Ask permission. Your client probably won't care, and you can post it up there so other clients, potential clients, will see your work, that you've got the chops. And then start reaching out to other prospects. Start building your network in LinkedIn or people you know, and other veterinarians in town or coffee shops or whoever you wrote that first thing for. Go to another client of that type and say, I specialize in dental newsletters. Maybe I can help you with yours. And then announce it on LinkedIn. I mean, business professionals are on LinkedIn. There are so many jobs right now on LinkedIn for writers. And I know that if your LinkedIn profile says I write for dental practices or whatever, dental marketers are coming to you. So make sure you announce on LinkedIn that you're doing this, and then basically tell everyone you know what you offer. You never know, the person you're standing in line next to at Starbucks or meeting at a church group or a school group or something like that, they may be a marketer or someone who runs a small business. You never know. So tell everyone and build from that momentum. Those are our top tips for that. So given that, I want to piggyback on, you already know your first client. Basically, you know a whole bunch of people in your life, right? And any one of those people could be a referral source or actually hire you. We hear this all the time. I talked to a friend of mine who is doing blah, 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 and they just realized they could use my services, or they just thought of a friend who could use my services. So make a list. Think about all the colleagues you've had in your career, or former coworkers who you're still in touch with or not even still in touch with. Just think of a list. Family and friends who may be in marketing somewhere or own a business. Local businesses you buy from. I mean, I keep mentioning local bakery. There's hair salons. There are accountants and dentists and all kinds of companies that you could just tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I've been doing business with you for like 10 years. Can I help you with your newsletter? That's what I did with my accountant. And then college classmates that you're still in touch with, LinkedIn contacts, Facebook connections. We have one member who is rocking it by telling people in Facebook what she does. She's already picked up 3 clients. We really didn't zero in on Facebook before, but it's working for Jessica. So tell people. And then again, any group you belong to or civic activity. I'm in a community here with a homeowners association. Some of them go, what do you do? Why are you home all day? Because I write for a living and it's awesome. And they're like, oh my gosh, we need that. So I'm having my kitchen redone and the kitchen designer wants my web services. See, there you go. It's that easy. So you probably know your first client. Think of who you know and tell them what you're doing, because you will be amazed, and we want to hear about it when it happens, because it will happen. Okay. Resources for reaching out very quickly. We have 2 main resources where you can learn more about getting clients. We've got a whole bunch of Inside AWAI sessions on that, how to make a website that attracts clients, how to land great fees, how to use LinkedIn, on and on, how to get your foot in the door with a client. Please do check those out, because there's some great tips in there. And then, of course, we have a whole article archive. We put out so many articles every week, and a lot of them are on getting clients. I pointed to that category on our article page, so just go there and you'll just see a stream of wonderful tips for you to make this happen. So with that, we are going to open up the floor for questions and talk about other resources that we have for you. And stop the share now and chat away. What are your questions?
Well, Fran and Melissa are asking if there are any questions on Facebook. In the meantime, though, I just want to talk about that getting clients. Pam gave you the resources that we have on our website. But if it still just feels foreign and you want someone saying, just do this, now do this, now send them an email that says this. When they respond with this. We have this thing with, and it's not actually being promoted anywhere yet, but we do have it all ready to go. It launches next week. It's a 21-day challenge with Elise Bennon. She shows you how to get your first client on LinkedIn. You will get clients through this, and through this process, you will learn just how easy it really is to prospect and get clients. The only reason it feels scary to you, the only reason you resist it is just that you've never done it before. But once you learn to do it, it just becomes second nature, and it becomes fun, because the more clients that you have, the more opportunities you have, that's freedom, because now you know that I don't want to work with this client anymore. Well, that's fine. I got 7 more queued up right here. This client said that they can't do this anymore. Oh, that's awesome. I can just turn this back on and get some more clients over here. When we talk about the volume, it's not like the 500 people on our job board and that's all there is. There's millions, just professional service providers who could use a newsletter from you. 26 million. And that's professionals. That's one, like a chiropractor or a dentist or a veterinarian. That's not counting the millions of companies who are selling products and services, who are manufacturing, who are producing, who are training, who are like, name anything that you look around your room right now. Anything in there is manufactured and sold by somebody. Many of the products here are manufactured and sold by many people. There's the person who sold you the desk, but there's also the person who made the desk, right? Who had the product that was manufactured. Then there's all the people who sold the parts to manufacture the desk. There are the companies that sold the boxing to package the desk to ship to you. There are the companies who took on the logistics to do all the ship. There's just so much. It's mind blowing. And if you're brand new, it's hard. It's hard to even wrap your mind around your office right now, your living room, your kitchen, wherever you're sitting right now, your car has so many companies involved in the manufacturing, buying, and selling of all the stuff around you. It's insane. Any hobby you have, any interest you have, who you are. That's not the challenge. Finding clients of who you could work for is not the challenge. The challenge is doing the work that it takes to connect with them. And it doesn't have to be hard. So we went to Elise Bennon, who's this amazing business building coach, and said, can you just like break it down like literally into 20-minute chunks and say, do this, say that. She said, yes. We created this challenge. We did it. And the success was phenomenal. It's fully guaranteed. If you go through it and you don't land clients or you're not happy, you get your money back. It's not about the money for this. This is really just about overcoming what you perceive to be your biggest obstacle. And at the end, you'll realize it really wasn't an obstacle. It was you just not understanding. And that's okay, because you've never done it before. This will show you how. It's like if you've never cooked before. My 9-year-old wants to cook. Well, there's so much that goes into baking, right? Like there's chemistry, there's measurement, there's technique, there's heat, there's all science behind it. But once she did it once I walked her through it, she can now make eggs. She can now make cookies. She understands the things. That's what Elisa's doing here. She's basically taking you to the kitchen. Okay, measure the water. Awesome. Pour it in the bowl.
Yeah.
Great. Open the package, dump it in, mix it up, set the oven. Like that's literally, it's step by step so that you feel super confident. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about ego, confidence, any of that stuff. It just all happens because you're just like, what's next, Elise? Okay. What's next, Elise? And then you just get clients. And so if that's a hang up for you, if you've been in this space for a while and that's where you got hung up, do the challenge. The link is there. It's just, it will make all of that demystified and you'll be coming back saying, well, now that I know how to do that, getting clients is easy. I don't know why I ever feared it. I promise it really can be. And we're not trying to like minimize it because it's new. This is a big freaking deal, right? This is where the money comes. And this is the hardest part as far as your brain goes to get wrapped around it. But that challenge will help you demystify it and make it easier.
And one thing that's really awesome to know, I just want to throw in here is to minimize any other angst about this too, is you don't need 57 clients. You only need a few. Because once you start proving yourself with a client, like my accountant, I've been working with him for 25 years. And not only do I do his newsletter, I do his website updates every now and then. You will find that a few clients will latch onto you and make you busy, because once they see what you can deliver, they have other projects. They have a website that's like 5 years old now. They have really poor performing emails. They have, oh yeah, we wanted to create a free guide on how to keep your granite countertops awesome. Can you write that guide? You know, whatever it is, there's so much out there for each company to do that you just don't need more than maybe 4 to 6 clients to have a really great career. So keep that in mind too. It's not that far away. You don't have to, it's not this big, huge goal like the moon out there. It just a few clients you're golden. So keep that in mind.
That is great stuff. Thank you so much, Pam and Rebecca. We're getting a lot of thank yous in the Facebook already, and a lot of questions been answered by Melissa. But just a couple more to throw your way, just on the live. Karen was wondering, what's the best way to research and find contacts in our specialty? She's kind of struggling to get the names of the people to contact in this process.
Well, LinkedIn is a wonderful, wonderful thing. That's one. Search, they actually list people who are on LinkedIn for certain companies, and you can look for marketing directors. You can also join groups of marketers on LinkedIn. And the third way that I can think of is to go to the website. Sometimes the company website will have their marketing director, like on the About Us page, our management team. They will usually have the marketing director or the sales director, someone like that, vice president of marketing. Those are the people that you probably would want to reach out to. But we have an Inside AWAI on what clients want. And in that session, we talk about who clients actually are and how to contact them and find them. And another potential client base, you guys, is agencies and marketing firms who already have the clients, but they need writers to do these things that we just went through. So that's another avenue too. And there's an Inside AWAI on that too. So that's why we keep bringing that up, because if you go through our Getting Clients section of Inside AWAI, there is so much there for you. So what clients want is the one, understanding what clients want, I think is what it's called, is the one, Karen, that you want to check out to find out more about who the people are that you want to reach out to.
And when in doubt, just ask, right? You can email anybody that you can connect with the company and say, hey, Pam, can I ask you who hires copywriters at AWI? Who do I talk to? I have an idea for your blog. Who would I talk to? Pam's going to say, oh, you should talk to Jackie. People want to naturally help. They don't see you as like, oh, Karen's asking for the creative director. No, they're like, you just ask the question, who runs your blog? I saw this thing on a landing page. I'd love to get this edit to them. Who do I contact? That will get you the right person. Then you reach out to that person like, hey, Jackie, Pam Foster recommended that I reach out to you because I have some ideas for your blog. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting a conversation on like a recognizable, I know Pam. She wants you to talk to me. Okay, now I'm paying attention in a different way. So in any of this stuff, like, don't let anybody tell you that there's like some mystical technique. Just be like human, right? Like, how would you naturally find somebody? What would you naturally say? I get so many spammy emails every single day from professional service providers trying to sell me on their thing, when if they would just take a second and have a real conversation with me, the likelihood that I would respond would be so much higher than just pushing to me what they can do. I don't even know you. So just ask. When in doubt, just find somebody in the company who will respond to you and say, or I found something broken on your website. I found this landing page and I think I can make it stronger. I found this sales page, and that will get you to the right person. Hey, Fran.
Awesome. Hey, popping in, popping out. Kind of along those same lines, guys, Alex is wondering if there are potential clients or small companies in Latin America, would the prices that you were talking about today stay the same?
Pricing is really company specific, not industry specific or area specific. If I'm working for a yoga studio, that's going to be less than if I'm working for a national yoga franchise. So that's what you just need to think about, is what is it that you're writing? And what's the competition? Like, do they have another option? I happen to know that in some areas in Latin America, like, there aren't a lot of options for great optimized content online. It's a huge opportunity right now. And for a business, I would go after companies in that space who want to claim some of that space and have something to gain from it. So again, am I working for a local veterinarian practice? For them, I probably would want to do a newsletter versus like building funnels or things that they don't really need. And so my rates wouldn't really change. The other piece of pricing that you want to remember is your time. So if you only have 5 hours in a day to write, are you willing to give up those 5 hours for this fee that this one company wants to pay? Or would you be better off spending those 5 hours finding clients who want to pay or who can pay what you want to make? So even though it might be company A can't afford this thing, or I might change my pricing because of this, you still always want to take stock in how you're spending your time, because you don't want to be like Steve Maurer, who Pam talked about at the beginning. He locked up all of his time early on writing for Content Mills. So he was spending all of his free time writing $2 articles. And if he had just spent that same time, if he took a whole month to land one great client that he has now, it would have been way better worth his time. So you still need to think about that as well. So you can adjust your fees based on the size of the company, but you're always taking stock too. And is it worth your time? And if the company can't afford you, it just might not be the right client for you. So hopefully that helped answer a few other questions that might have popped up just from seeing that question.
Awesome, absolutely. Another one was from Camille on our Facebook group. Camille was wondering about the typical turnaround for these 3 examples that you were giving. The next day, a week, does a time frame seem like, compared to if you're newbie or if you're a bit more experienced, would that change?
I'd like to talk about this one really quick because it's a misconception about the relationship between the writer and the client. It is not adversarial. It's you're driving this. You're telling me, the client, when you can have it done. So it's not, there's no tension between us. You've presented this idea for these 5 blog posts, and I'm like, yes, I want you to write 2, 3, and 5. When can you have them to me? So the first assignment is going to be 100% driven by you, because we didn't even have a deal. I'm not expecting it. I'm not waiting on you. This is something new for me, the client, to get from you. So you're going to say, I can have this to you in about 2 weeks, or it's going to take me like this, and then I'll present this like this to you. Does that work for you? Now, I might be so excited and I might say, well, I've already got this newsletter running. I'm going to pull, this one sounds way more exciting than what I've got going. I want to pull this. Any chance you could have it by next Tuesday? And then you're going to say yes, or I can't make that work. But don't worry, mail what you got. And the next one's going to be amazing because we're going to have the time. So just, again, put yourself in their shoes. Be mindful of your own shoes. No one's expecting you to stop on a dime and work. And remember, you're a professional. No professional is out there with time on their schedule today, right? You're saying, I came across your website, pediatrician, and here's 5 ideas. Like, you haven't posted since May. What are you thinking? What about all the potential patients and the parents who are freaking out, looking to you for information? Here's 5 blog posts we can get up right away, just so that we can update your families on the vaccines and when things are coming, when COVID and the latest stats. And patients need to know this stuff, pediatrician. When would you like, which one do you want me to write? And they're going to say, okay, write all 5, please. When can you have them done? It's not today. I'm a busy copywriter. I got stuff to do. I've got other clients I'm working with, right? So you're going to be in control of that conversation. New experience, doesn't matter. You're just a professional from day one. And that's something I want all of you to take away also. You're a professional from day one. Your first client, the dentist does not go through school, get his certification and be like, who's going to let me drill their teeth? You're my first client. It doesn't work that does not exude confidence in the patient. You want to go out and say, that's actually why I love this methodology. Instead of saying, I'm a blogger, can I write on your blog? Because then what happens? They're going to say, well, can you show me your samples? What have you done? Blah, blah, blah. But if you're like, here's 5 blog ideas that are exactly targeted for your audience and the problems that they're having, I don't need to see your stuff. Like, what? You just gave me 5 specific examples for my audience and just said, which one do you want me to write? It's so much easier. So I want you guys to remember that when you take our programs, when you've gone through our stuff, you're coming out the other side a pro. Part of the AWAI methodology for teaching, everything is experience. This is Pam is our learning chief now, really incorporating into every single thing that we do. It's learn the skill, apply the skill, prove that you can do it, work on a sample, get feedback. Like, it's part. So when you come out, you know how to do it. It's not just like you read a book.
I wanted to mention too, turnaround times for you to actually do the work is really up to you, and you set the expectation. So like when I write my accountant's newsletter, it might take me 2 weeks from the first list of topics we're going to do to me reaching out to other people I have to interview or send questions to. And then I sit down and really write the flow and all the articles, and I might have a few other pieces here and there. Then it goes to the client for review. Then it comes back to me, fine tune everything. So that's like a 2-week process. Doesn't have to be, but that's typical for newsletters. And then blog posts are shorter. You probably need a week or less to write a blog post. Video scripts, they're simple. Same thing, a week. I mean, you set the expectation with the client, and charge rush if they need it tomorrow. That's not, they will be understanding of that in the most cases. You're like, well, I know I'm asking it for tomorrow, but it would be great. Okay, well, that is a 50% rush fee. Are you okay with that? Yes, because I'm being unreasonable and asking for instant turnaround. So it's pretty typical that if you start a good relationship, you can set the expectation, and if they go, or if they squish those boundaries, then you can adjust accordingly. But I've never had anyone say to me, "What? You're going to take 2 weeks to do the newsletter? That's an outrage." No, it's been fine. So you set the standard.
Perfect. Thank you both. And then again on our Facebook page, Emilda, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, it's a beautiful name, is wondering, should pricing be laid out up front, or is a written proposal a good idea, especially for retainer deals that you were mentioning?
Go ahead, Pam.
Okay, so for retainers, definitely you want to come to an agreement, because you want to spell out the scope of what you're offering, the value of it, the pricing, and then, is this cool with you? If so, let's sign the bottom line. I'll get going. Bada boom, bada bing. And then all expectations are clear from the start. I always advocate for that. I think even if you're doing one project, a client wants to know what it's going to cost them. And maybe you don't answer right in the initial phone call. You go, okay, now that I know all the specs, I might go away and think about it a little bit, and I'll send you a proposal. But you don't do any work until you know and the client knows what the payment structure is, because there are no surprises at that point. And I actually think you should get paid 50% deposit, if not 100%, before you begin working, because then you're not worried about that either. I think standard
the only caveat on that would be like a blog post. Like, I don't want to, as a client, go through my accounting, set you all up, and blah, 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 to pay $150 on a $3 blog post. Take that risk. It's more of, but like, $1,000, if it's going to take you 2 weeks of your time, I agree with then some kind of deposit. I also wanted to say what Pam, just wanted to lean into something that you said, and that is not necessarily naming the price out of the gate, because you don't know what the scope is. And so you want to have that conversation. Like, when you say newsletter, do you mean 2,000 words or do you mean 800 words? Because that's going to affect your pricing. Also, it gives you the chance to make them want you first. We're going through a buying process right now at AWAI where we're negotiating with a company, and they did a really good job in session 1 of selling us. I'm like, to the team, do you want this thing? Because now we're in a different position. I would have paid X, and now I'm willing to pay Y, because they did a really good job at making me want the thing. So again, holding off on pricing until you've had it, and conversation can just be, these are my 5 ideas. And the client is like, oh my gosh, I want them all. All right. Here's how much it's going to cost. Like that, it definitely puts you, and you're going to learn this as you go. The other reason for retainer that you also want confirmation is that projects can creep, the scope can creep up. So I will deliver you 2 800-word blog posts every single month. You will pay me $500 in exchange. Yes? Yes. All of a sudden you get a request for a 3rd blog post. Can you write a blog post on this? Can you write a blog post on this? Yes. But it is outside the scope of our retainer agreement. And so therefore it's going to be this in addition. Now we can increase the retainer and do this every month, but if it's a one-off thing, you just want me to write these 2, but they do not apply to the retainer that's already in place. And it doesn't have to be anything formal. It can literally just be an email exchange of, on the same page, 2, when we say blog posts, we mean 2, and we mean 800 words or less, delivered every single month in exchange for $500. Deal, good, go. That way it's clear. And if for some reason, what about the 3rd? What about the 4th? You can just forward the email and say, well, remember it's 2. I can do more, but it's going to cost you more. So yes, confirm all that up front.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Ingrid's on the Facebook today. She actually had a question about retainers as well. Good to see you, Ingrid. Ingrid was wondering, when you're on a retainer, do you make a special price, or do you keep it at $250 a blog? I believe that was on the slides.
Yeah, I've done it both ways. I've actually been asked if I can offer a bit of a discount if they lock me in. And if I feel like we're both going to win, sure. There's always room for negotiation in my mind if you want that client and if you still feel you're getting that, a good income from it. But other times you just go, well, my rate to optimize a web page is $500 a page. So how many pages do you want? And we'll just get going.
I honestly, for something like this, I personally would, and I, as a client, would never expect them to lower the price. The only time I think of lowering a price the retainer mindset, it's good for both of us. You get steady work. I don't have to find a new writer every single month to come up with new ideas. Right. So it's in my best interest to put you on retainer. If I like working with you, if you have good ideas and you're consistent, I can rely on you. The reason I lock you up in a retainer as the client is like, oh, that's one less thing I got to worry about. That's getting done. I don't have to think about that every single month. I don't have to find somebody to write it. I don't have to come up with ideas. I don't have to keep hiring a new writer. Good. You do it until you don't want to do it anymore. And I'll just tell accounting to pay you every single month. I get to get out of the middle of it. So there's already massive benefit to your client to not lower your fees. The only time fee lowering in my mind is worth it is on like package deals. Like typically I charge this much for a blog, this much for a newsletter, and this much for an email sequence. But because I'm gonna do this all month for you, every month for you, I'm gonna give it to you for this. And the reason why for you is that you're going to be so much more efficient. You're not working for 3 different clients. You're working for one client with the same conversation. You're going to reuse all of your research. We're actually launching a brand new certification soon on content, which does exactly this. It's about, we're putting it together right now with the idea of not just selling a blog or just selling a newsletter, but rather selling a content package so that when you write this thing over here, you can spin it into other forms of content like videos and newsletters and charge for all of it. Even though it's one idea based on one set of research, based on one set of writing, you get to charge for it again and again because you're spinning it for the client into all its other formats. So stay tuned for that because I'm super excited about it.
It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you guys so much. I just see a couple more here, so I guess we'll do our last call for questions at the moment. Denise was wondering, at the bottom of one of your slides, I believe about when you're talking about blogging, she saw the note, even more for editorial calendar. She was wondering if you could just touch on that a little bit more.
Sure. So what I've done a few times with clients is they just don't know what to talk about in their blog. They really have no idea. A veterinary practice is a perfect example. So I go, all right, you relax, go take care of animals. I'm going to come up with an editorial calendar where every month we blog about something that is on the top of mind for pet owners. So hurricane season, how do you prepare for a bug out if a hurricane's coming near your Jacksonville home? You know, for example, here are 10 things you should have in a bug out kit that you can grab and go with your dog. Another topic might be, it's flea and tick season. Hey, how are you going to prepare your dogs for that? And if you live in the north, winter is not necessarily flea and tick season, but here comes spring. Now it's time to talk about that. There are certain holidays, you know, like every year, July 4th, fireworks, freak out dogs. We're going to talk about that and help parents, pet parents protect their animals. So you map out, you look at a calendar of what's happening in that world and other things that might be common questions, like there are always new puppy questions. So you can map out a whole year. All right, we're doing 2 newsletters a month or 1 newsletter a month. I'm going to help you map out a plan that's very topical and timely for your readers. And then we'll sprinkle in stuff too, like, oh, we just added massage to our services for dogs. You know, so we'll sprinkle in some of that, but there's so much you can help with. And then they're like, oh, this is great, just go. You know, we don't have to worry about it anymore. Just let us know if you have questions. So that's what I mean by an editorial calendar. And you can charge an hourly fee to do that or a separate project fee to do that.
You can even just do that. I actually have somebody who works for the Writer's Life. She's one of the best editors I know. Her name is Nan Hughes, and she runs the editorial calendar. She doesn't write the issues. She runs the editorial calendar. So she says from the marketing team, what are you guys promoting this month? And then she puts together the ideas and then goes out and hires the writers to write what you see becomes the Writer's Life. That alone is an incredibly valuable, especially for a company. Imagine if I had to plan out 30 days. I have a company to run, but you want me to put out 30 days of editorial? That's a lot. For a veterinarian, he only gets paid if he's seeing patients. To sit down to think of an editorial calendar and tell the writer what to write, that's time that he values that he could be spending elsewhere. So for you to say, here's the editorial calendar, you don't have to come up with what to write. I'm going to tell you what we're going to write. You can charge additional for that. And again, even if you go into companies that have writers, say, yeah, you know, I see your content, you've got great writers, but I've got better ideas for topics. Can I build an editorial calendar for you that ties in with what you're trying to accomplish this month so that we can, you know, pull together that editorial and that marketing side of your business? You can just charge very well for that piece of it.
Perfect. Thank you both so much. Melissa has been furiously answering questions, so I think this is our last one for the day. Eve's wondering, when you're just starting out, it's a common question we kind of get. If you're just starting out, do you need to have a professional website when just beginning?
You don't need to have a website, but you will ultimately want one. So the recommendation that we have at AWAI is to start with a LinkedIn profile. That's actually going to give you good practice for your website anyways, but you want some kind of professional business card or storefront so that people can contact you. So the recommendation is LinkedIn. Guess what? We have an Inside AWAI on how to put up your LinkedIn profile. So
and IBC is coming up. The Elise program.
And the 21-day challenge that we teach is using LinkedIn. So that is that 21-day challenge we mentioned earlier is about how to use LinkedIn to get clients. So we do work on your profile. You will want a website at some point, but when you're just starting out, it is completely acceptable to just operate as Eve Gutman. I'm Rebecca Matter. I could just operate that. I don't have to have a company just yet. I may never. I might just continue to be a professional service provider under my name. So LinkedIn is fine. Down the line, you're going to want a website, and we have a very simple program that gets it. Like, you don't even have to, we walk you through and say, push this button, drag it over there, click it over here. It's very easy, only because imagine doing business with a professional service provider who doesn't have a website. Right? Like an accountant, a chiropractor, like you're going to want to be able to find them. So you can start with LinkedIn, and ultimately you will want to have a website, but you don't need one to get started.
And the other thing about having your own website eventually when you can is that you control the content and how people read it and see it and access it. LinkedIn could change the way it feeds things to people. It does change the profile look and feel sometimes. If you're on Facebook, they change their algorithms all the time, and you have no control over that. I mean, you can do your very best to set up a LinkedIn profile that's killer, but a website you control totally. So it's really up to your advantage to have your own property that promotes yourself eventually.
Excellent. Well, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We do this every single month. So if you ever have an idea for an Inside AWAI, again, we have over 30 some odd topics over on our page of things that we've already done. But if there is anything that we can demystify for you, we've been in this business for so long. We are up to cutting edge with what's working best for freelancers. If there is something that you need, we want to help you. So please email me anytime at askrebecca@awai.com. Email us message Pam and me through Facebook. Whatever you need, we want to know, because it's going to help us help you have a career doing what All right, guys. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you, Fran. Bye.
Bye, Melissa.